Welcome to the bumps in the dark.
Listen if you dare. Listen if you dare.
Kale wasn't superstitious. Lucky charms, four-leaf clovers, and stories of mischievous leprechauns were just St. Patrick's Day nonsense to him. That was until he found the gold. It happened deep in the Black Hollow woods. He and his best friend Trevor had dared each other to explore, past the old creek where kids swore they heard whispers at night. Kale wasn't scared. He was curious. That's when he saw it, a small wooden chest half buried beneath tangled roots. The lid was cracked open just enough to reveal the glint of gold coins inside. His heart pounded as he reached in and plucked one from the pile. Trevor peered over his shoulder. "Dude, you don't just take random treasure. Haven't you seen any horror movies?" Kale smirked. "Relax. It's just a coin. What's the worst that could happen?" That night, the knocking started. At first it was subtle, just a faint tap on his bedroom window. He ignored it, blaming the wind. But when he turned off his light, the whispering began. A voice low and playful, drifting from the darkness. "You took what's mine, now it's time to play." Kale bolted upright. His room was empty, but the shadows in the corner shifted. A cold chill crept up his spine. The next day, Trevor laughed when Kale told him. "You're seriously spooked over a coin. Maybe it's your guilty conscience." But the strange occurrences didn't stop. Footsteps in the hall when no one was there. The feeling of being watched. Objects shifting when he wasn't looking. And then the laughter, high-pitched and cruel, coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. That night, Kale woke to see his closet door creaking open on its own. And standing in the dark gap was a figure. The thing was small but twisted, like a leprechaun dragged through nightmares. Its body was hunched, limbs too long for its size, fingers tipped with jagged nails. Its grin stretched too wide, and its eyes burned green, glowing like embers in the dark. "You like stealing, boy? Let's see how you run." Kale sprinted out of his room, but the moment he turned the corner, he found himself back at his bedroom door. The hallway was looping, twisting. The leprechaun's cackling filled the air. "You can't run, but you can play." It giggled. Kale slammed the door shut, panting. That's when he saw the message scratched into his windowpane. "The gold was never yours to claim. A memory lost shall end the game." His hand shook. A memory? What did that mean? He grabbed his phone and called Trevor. "You have to come over, now." Trevor wasn't convinced until he saw the scratches on the window. Then the knocking began. The laughter followed. Something skittered across the ceiling. "What the—" Trevor paled. "Okay, yeah, you're cursed. What do we do?" Kale had an idea. The St. Patrick's Day ritual. He'd read about it once. A way to undo a leprechaun's curse. They rushed to the woods, heart pounding. The creature's laughter echoed between the trees, always just behind them. The coin felt heavier in Kale's pocket, like it was sinking into his skin. They reached the old creek, the very spot where Kale had found the chest. The full moon bathed the trees in eerie silver light. Kale took a deep breath and began the secret Irish chant, his voice shaking. The wind howled, shadows rippled unnaturally. Then came the final line. "A memory lost shall end the game." A sharp pain lanced through Kale's skull. His vision blurred, and something vanished from his mind, slipping away like a dream upon waking. The coin vanished from his hand. The forest fell silent. Kale woke up the next morning feeling lighter, as if something dark had been lifted. The whispers were gone. The laughter had faded. He was free, but something was off. At school, Kale walked past Trevor in the hall and felt nothing. Trevor gave him a confused look. "Dude, you good?" Kale hesitated. His stomach twisted, but he didn't know why. Do I know you?" Trevor's face fell. "Kale, it's me, Trevor." But Kale only blinked at him, his best friend now just a stranger in his eyes. The cursed gold was gone, but so was a piece of him.
Midnight fog, the shadows crawl, footsteps echo down the hall. Doors creak open, whispers sigh, something unseen is passing by. Lanterns flicker, the cold